Open beta week 2 for Battlefield 6 is well underway, and in the last beta, somebody asked me in the comment section if I could share my specific build for the M4A1 for Battlefield 6, and I am doing just that today. This weapon is one of the first weapons you actually get access to in the carbine category of weapons, and what's nice about it is, again, it is a carbine, so it's available to every single class, unless, of course, you're playing open weapon class. Then you have access to all the weapons as all the classes, but I tend to play closed weapon classes, and the M4A1 is an absolute bullet hose. You can deal with multiple enemies just because of how fast it fires, and it even does pretty decent at range. The hip fire is pretty good as well, and you can just, as I said, just shred people. It's a little bit more difficult at the longer ranges, not as stable as the AK-205, but the AK-205 does substantially less damage at 20 damage per shot, as opposed to the M4A1 that does 25 damage per shot with a rate of fire of 900 RPM. So we're going to start off with the actual muzzle attachment here. So you're going to want to put on the linear compensator. So this gives you basically extra precision on the weapon, so there's less drift, as they call it in here. It just feels better to shoot. So just equip that. We're going to need those other points for other stuff, so that's why I'm not going with the 20-point attachments for this. For the barrel, now I had opted for the 14.5 to increase the projectile velocity. Then I kind of like played with this one, slightly improves aiming speed. I ended up just going with this one. For the most part, you're not going to be like engaging people at like 100 meters plus trying to shoot at them while they're running. You could technically, and it's still, the bullet's still going to travel at like 504 meters per second, which is fast enough at the ranges at which you're going to want to use this. But this specific barrel also increases the hipfire accuracy and aiming speed, which is really nice. So that's why I went ahead and equipped that. For the underbarrel, I simply went with the most expensive one in this case. So it enhances the recoil control at the cost of handling when aiming. Now, I'm not 100% sure on what handling when aiming actually does. Is that like the reload when you're actually still ADSing? Because if that's the case, I didn't put the magwell attachment that allows you to reload while you're ADSing, so I think it's kind of a moot point if that is what it is. Otherwise, I don't really know what else handling might be. Maybe the ADS movement speed might be slightly slower because it is changing the mobility, but nonetheless, this really increases your overall recoil control, so very nice for those longer ranges because the M4A1 shoots so fast that the recoil is going to hit you on a more regular basis. So for the magazine, you have a few options here. I went with the 36 round mag. It costs 15 total attachment points. This one actually reloads faster than the 36 rounder, but it does cost you an extra 15 points, so 30 points total for the mag alone, only to get 4 extra shots. And I didn't feel like the reload time was just abysmal anyways. It's like 2.1 seconds, so it's pretty freaking quick. And yeah, I just went with this one because we want those points to spend on the soft points. So for this one, you're going to need to master the M4A1 to 18, I believe, to get the soft points. So this increases your headshot multiplier to 1.7x as opposed to 1.35 for both of these other ones. And generally speaking, I'm always going to want to go for extra headshot damage multipliers because for the occasions in which you do get like 1 or 2 headshots back to back with this specific round, it's going to take you 3 shots to kill if you also get a body shot in there. If you don't get many headshots, then time to kill is going to be pretty much the same because it's 25 damage. If you're only getting 1 headshot, it's still going to take you 4 shots to kill because you're doing 42.5 damage per shot with the headshots. For these two, I think it's like 32 is something, and even if you do get 2 headshots mixed in there, it's still going to take you 4 shots to kill. So I really like the extra headshot damage multiplier, and it also serves the purpose of if somebody else is shooting at them and they're already slightly low, you might be able to get a 1-tap with a headshot. For the ergonomics, I simply opted to go for the improved mag catch, so reducing the overall reload time by 130, not even 130 milliseconds. But yeah, it just costs 5 points and we're not going to have points to spend elsewhere. And then finally for the optic here, I'm like changing between a lot of the optics, honestly. Sometimes I'll go with a 1.5x, sometimes I'll go with a 2.5x. The one I was using was the ROM 1.5x. I think it has a nice balance between like seeing targets at longer ranges, being able to shoot at them accurately, and decent enough for CQB. And the weapon also has such good hipfire accuracy that in CQB you'll probably be able to hipfire people down at decent ranges. So that is my M4A1 build or setup for the Battlefield 6 Open Beta Weekend 2. I'm really digging the carbines, honestly. I find myself using them on, if I want to like play aggressive, I find myself using these on pretty much every single class. I don't really play Assault all that much. I really like the utility of the support class. I really like playing Engineer when there's obviously vehicles on the map. And then if I want to play something like Breakthrough or Rush, I'll tend to opt for the Recon class because you have that powerful tool, which is the spawn beacon that allows your squad to get a forward spawn, especially when you're playing Rush and you're kind of fighting to get the plant and protect that plant. It's really, really important to have a spawn point that is forward and not always have to spawn back at your base. And since you always have access to the M4A1, if you're playing closed weapons, you're getting a lot of practice with it. You're able to master it very quickly and unlock the cooler attachments, the higher headshot damage multiplier ammo. So yeah, just a fantastic weapon overall. And obviously the rate of fire is there to back it up at 900 with the 25 damage. So you're basically, if you're in CQB, you're just mowing down people in the snap of a finger. For the most part, they probably won't even sometimes have time to shoot back. And one way that I found the M4A1 to be super effective at range, despite the recoil that's somewhat hard to manage with the horizontal recoil, is just tap firing. So a few shots down range, and then you stop for like a split second, or not even a split second, and then a few shots down range. It is super laser accurate, and you can beam people down at really good ranges with the M4A1 with the tap fire mechanic. So that'll pretty much do it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on the open beta. Is it your first time playing it this weekend? Did you play it last weekend? What's your favorite weapon? And keep your eyes peeled for a video tomorrow on the new Brooklyn map. In any case, hit the like button if you